The defense, again, lights out just like they were against Tennessee.
Mhm.
So many players to shout. I mean, Jack Sawyer, multiple batted balls down at the line of scrimmage, did not let Dylan Gabriel
Mhm.
really do much of anything. I mean, I know he had, he didn't have like a ton of tackles. He only had 2 tackles, but they were both sacks. When he got his arms around the ball carrier, they were impactful.
Yep.
Team as a whole, 8 sacks against Dylan Gabriel. 8. That's a monster number.
Mhm.
And a lot of those were because they adjusted. They adjusted early on with Cody Simon was a spy. And,
Yeah.
we talked about not allowing Dylan Gabriel to beat you with his feet. He started beating him for his feet a little bit, and then Jim Knowles put the X-nay on that. Simon was a great spy. I mean, he was all over the field. 11 tackles, 2 sacks, 3 tackles for loss. There's a reason he was a defensive MVP. He was all over the place. And the last guy I'd like to shout out specifically is Caleb Downs. Caleb
Yep.
Downs was excellent. He probably dropped like 2 or 3 interceptions, but they were tough ones to get. He was diving for those balls, but he was not letting anyone get by him in terms of coverage. He had 3 tackles as well. So
Mhm.
the defense as a whole, and actually, you know what? I will shout out one more guy, Denzel Burke, because of how much the first game against
Yeah.
Oregon was his worst game as a collegiate player, and there's no doubt about it. And for him to get his ass torched like that and come back and only have one single target against them, and it was in the fourth quarter, as an incompletion. Hats off
Mhm.
to you, my man.
Yeah. We'll start with Denzel. Man, I didn't understand. Well, I get it for trolling reasons, but all season everyone was just to harp on him and all these Oregon fans talking about, well, when he sees E. Stu and Trayshawn Holden and the rest of them, like, what's he gonna do? I said, God, I don't think you understand. Like, Denzel Burke is still one of the best cover corners and tackling corners, but one of the best cover
Yeah.
corners in college football. Like, he's not. Like, what do you like? You think he's gonna play like that again? Now, I was very nervous, but I was very confident in that there's no way he could play that bad again. There just was no way. He was shut down that game. As someone else that I think, man, we could probably shout out everyone on this defense, honestly, but Igman Nosen,
Yeah.
shut down. And then, I mean, like you said, Caleb Downs was everywhere, and just once again showing, like, his impact doesn't come in the stat sheet. It doesn't come in the stat sheet.
Yep.
That guy is the best defensive player in college football. There's only so many safeties that I've seen like him in my lifetime. Eric Berry.
I mean, you think of Ed Reed. You think
Dude,
of, Kyle Hamilton was pretty darn good for Notre
yeah.
Dame, and he's really good for the Ravens now. It's
Shoot, who's the
Bob
other?
Sanders.
I can name so many Miami
Yeah.
safeties. He's one of the most elite safeties to ever come through college
Sean
football.
Taylor, Miami
Yeah,
safety.
Sean Taylor, yeah. And then Lathan Ransom, my goodness. He was out there cracking skulls. That's exactly he. If Lathan Ransom was back in the medieval days, he would have been the guy walking around his horse with the biggest axe and swinging around chopping heads off. That's what he would have been.
The defense in general was physical.
Mm-hmm.
This is the second game in a row where we've seen multiple players from the other team go out due to injury just because of how physical the defense was. And, there was a guy I want to shout out that you thought was going to be one of the impact players in this game. That was Tyleik Williams.
Mm-hmm.
He was blowing things up in the middle, not allowing them to get the run game going. He was pushing the pocket back, so Dylan Gabriel had to scramble to the outside. He was a wrecker. Again, he had 3 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. Not a massive game, but it just anywhere where the ball was in the middle, it just seemed like he was there.
Right.
And we also talked about whether or not JT and Jack could have a good game together again. They did a great game against Tennessee. This game, they had 4 sacks between them.
Dude,
JTT, 3 tackles for loss, 2 sacks.
I can't believe what we're seeing right now.
Yeah. I mean, if the defensive line keeps playing this way, where they're just going to be wrecking everything at the line of scrimmage, Texas has no chance. Notre Dame / Penn State has no chance. I mean,
they'll get ran off the field. Notre Dame will get ran off the field.
It's what the defense has been doing has been incredible. I am so glad that they rebuilt this defense after the first Oregon game. And really, what it came down to was Jim Knowles won the fight between him and Larry Johnson. Jim Knowles won the power struggle.
Yes.
And we're seeing why, because he can make the defense do things like this. And when you've got a defense like this, you can trust your offense to take deep shots, early in the games, because even if they don't pan out, you're still going to be fine because your team's not going to give up many points.
Oh, for sure. And yeah, I was really happy that Tylee played very well. He like you said, man, he blew everything up in the middle. Those guards in the interior of the offensive line could not handle him. Jack and JT just game wreckers out there. Caden Curry came in and got a sack. That was nice to see. And that was when he had to go get that one. He had to earn that.
I think it was late in the game. Yeah.
Yeah. It was late in the game, and he ran around for like 3 seconds and got him. And I was happy. Looking forward to next year seeing him and Kenyatta Jackson Jr. Yeah, it was a very dominant performance. Couldn't ask for more out of these guys. They've exceeded my expectations here in the playoffs. I'm sorry that I picked you guys last second, but I'm very sorry that I ever doubted you guys. I didn't mean it. I love you guys. I caught my today my manager at work. He you should have saw his face. He caught me singing Carmen, Ohio at work. Like that, I'm on cloud 9 right now.
Yeah,
and go ahead.
One more player I want to shout out, and it's somebody that has given us the most concern out of any player that we've talked about, and that's Jaden Fielding. Jaden Fielding went 2 for 2 with his field goals. He made a 46-yarder.
Yeah.
And he made another one from like 38. 2 for 2. And those aren't necessarily long field goals, but those were longer than what we thought he could make.
No, and you saw 46, I didn't think he could make.
I didn't think so either. And you saw it on Ryan Day's face when he made it. The camera panned him and he gave like a fist pump right afterwards because he knew how big that was, not just for the team, but for Fielding's confidence to know that he can make that in a pressure game like this. So shout out to him. I know he's been doing a lot of work since the Michigan, that 56-yard field goal against Tennessee at the end of the first half was a tough look, but I didn't think they should have tried that anyway. They probably should have thrown a Hail Mary. But shout out to him. He made both his field goals, and hopefully he can bring that confidence for the rest of the playoff here.
Yeah, congratulations to Jaden Fielding. That was a great game he played. He played a great game. And I think that was very important for him, like you said, for him to see that in his confidence, because you see the offensive side of the ball having an A game. You see the defensive side having an A game. Now are you going to do your part?
Yep.
He did.
He did. So, there were a couple other things from this game. I know you saw the social media things that were going around on the sideline, specifically with Devin Sanchez and Tim Walton on the sideline, talking about, that belt to ass, and talking about those recruits on the other side who decided to flip at the last second.
For shoe deals. For shoe deals.
I could not have loved it more. Because that's, I'm here for that. Especially with someone like Nima Ford, who was a flip-flopper for months and months.
Yep.
If it wasn't going to be Oregon, it was Auburn. But no, I'm still committed to Ohio State. And he goes to Oregon to sign a shoe deal. And there's some clips coming out of him not looking too great in some of these, late season games that he was playing. And now look, it made me feel great that all of a sudden those recruits had to sit there and be like, oh, shit. Yeah. We just got beat by the team I was thinking about going to. Yikes.
And I love it. I truly love, because here's the thing. Shout out to Devin Sanchez and his mom, Mama Sanchez, and his dad. They are Buckeyes. They have been probably one of the greatest recruiters in Ohio State history from my viewpoint. And did you see Devin Sanchez's Instagram?
Oh yeah.
Dude, just tag Dorian Brew. All of them.
Dorian, Meme, Trey McNutt, Cleveland product. I'll tag you too.
I love that just the camaraderie that not just the team but the recruits have. You got Jermaine Matthews out there saying that
Yeah.
that's my head coach. Hey, don't talk. Watch how you talk about him.
Yeah.
Like this is a team that after that debacle in Columbus, they have gone to back for Ryan Day. They have gone to back for him.
Yeah, they're going to bat. Yeah.
And it's I think it's very clear right now. They're on a mission. This is a bit like they said. This is a business trip. Will Howard said it at the Tennessee game, and they're treating it as such.
Yep.
And I hate the thought process of this. Okay, the thought process of Ohio State needed that loss. If you ask me 10 times out of 10, I want that win.
Yep.
But damn it woke something up.
Look, I will never say I would like a Michigan loss to wake this team up and play good in the playoffs. That will never come out of my mouth. I will say it's undeniable that it stirred something in this team that I don't think we thought they had.
Yep.
This is the team that we thought we were getting at the beginning of the season. When they were saying national championship or bust, this is what we thought we were getting on the field every week. This is the product that we thought we were going to see. And it took 13 games, but they finally got there. And now the way this team is playing and the way the bracket's shaking out, I started looking tickets for Atlanta. Now I'm not going to totally get ahead of myself here because they've still got a pretty good football team to play here in Texas. Probably the best team left in the bracket besides Ohio State. But if they play like they did the last two games, there is no team that can stop them. Just none.
No. And based off what I just saw out of Texas.
Yeah.
And I want to bring this up from Sage, Ohio, because this right here, I love it. I love it. We have not, they love their win from this earlier season. Oregon loves their win in 2021 with probably our worst defense since the 1960s, or since like we have literally beaten them in two of the three most important games of their program's career or history.
Yeah.
And we do it in spectacular. Oregon fans, when we play you guys, when you were trying to go win a national championship, we beat the living shit out of you.
Yeah.
And that just is what it is. And truth be told, even the 2010 game, the game wasn't as close as the score showed.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. And Ohio, look, I'll say this about Oregon fans. They were not nearly as bad as the Tennessee fans. Tennessee fans were insufferable. I've seen a few Oregon fans bitch and moan about the seating, about how, it was too long of a layoff. We shouldn't have won the Big Ten because they forced us not to play for 3 weeks. Dude, come on. Like, that's
what Ohio. What are we doing here?
Yeah, and you know what?
That's what happened in the 4 team. What are you talking about?
There's been long layoffs for playoff games since it's been incepted, and even before that, the BCS you were waiting 40 days. Like, come on, that's ludicrous. So, I also I'm sure you saw this too. Shout out to Tez Johnson there at the end. Waiting for Will to be done with his interview. Give him his flowers. Tez is a really good player. And I was a little bit surprised they didn't try to get him more involved in different ways, the way Ohio State got Jeremiah involved, moving him around the formation, getting him maybe in some bunch stuff where maybe, Ohio State would lose track of him a little bit. But, because he's their best player. And it was strange they didn't try to use him more. But I thought that was a cool moment at the end of the game.
Well, speaking of that, shout out. It's terrible that I'm forgetting his name right now. Our Nickelback,
Jordan Hancock.
Thank you. Shout out to Jordan Hancock. Shout out to him. That's your guy. And I'm very. I can't wait to watch the All 22 because whatever Jim Knowles was doing with that secondary, Dylan Gabriel, it looked like he had no idea what he was looking at. He had no idea. And so I'm very interested to see what he was doing, man. Like when Ohio State's playing this way, no one can beat them. And if you don't mind, I want to talk about Ryan Day real quick.
Yeah, no, you go ahead.
Let's start with now the guy. He is 3-3 now in the playoffs. Yeah, he still has a Michigan monkey he has to go off his back. Still hasn't won the Big Ten title in 5 years. But that big game narrative, I don't want to hear any more of that. I don't want to hear any more of that. The guy we talked about when Ryan Day goes for broke, and when his back's against the wall, and I truly believe that some of the way that he has some of the things that he has gone through in his life, he coaches that way. Like the same way I believe that he can be a little emotional for the Michigan game and it gets into his head. The same way I believe when that guy is put has his back against the wall, he's a fighter. He's a fighter. And you come out against Tennessee, you drag them through the mud. And then you come out against Oregon and you didn't put them 6 feet under, you put them 12 feet under.
Yeah.
And after everyone was saying, I mean, I was hearing that everyone kept saying that Dan Lang is a better coach than him. Everyone kept saying that. It doesn't look close to me.
As someone who is and I'll wear it, a Ryan Day hater, after the 4th straight loss to Michigan, I wanted him fired. I said nothing less than a national championship will save his job. We're halfway there for that to happen. But I'll say this. To have his team play the best football that they've played probably in 2 or 3 years in these last 2 games, when you're right, his backup was against the wall and the walls were closing in on him.
Mm-hmm.
That tells me something. The team has rallied around him because they heard the outside noise. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'll credit myself for bullying them into playing better after bullying and getting.
I like that.
Yeah. So, he definitely deserves a lot of credit for how he's been able to refocus the team and get them to focus all of their energy into Tennessee and then into Oregon, and now they're going to shift their focus to Texas.
By the way, I love that you're a Ryan Day because listen, I can own it, dude. I hold Ryan Day's hand through the fire. That's what I do. Dude, listen, I'm a Ryan Day fan.
We got good cop, bad cop going on here then. You're the good cop. You're holding them till, I'm the one who needs results. And if he wins this national championship, which now they're unabashedly the favorite to do, based on what's happening around
it's almost even money. Yeah.
If he's able to get them all the way to win a national championship, he's got a job here for 5-6 years, after this. Even if he continues, I mean, he's still got to beat Michigan. That's still a problem. Let me rephrase. He's got at least for 2 or 3 more years until he beats Michigan. But that's still better than what I thought was going to happen. And now the way he has turned this thing around is not something I saw coming. I thought, coming into this, I thought we could beat Tennessee. I did not think they were going to beat Oregon. But once they beat Tennessee in a fashion that they did, that showed me, whoa, wait a minute. This is a different team. Maybe they can beat Oregon. And then did this against Oregon.
Give yourself credit. You said you thought they might blow them out. There was a tail end. You thought they might handle them. I think you said handle them or something.
I said they would handle them if they played like they did against Tennessee. I did not think they were actually
I meant the Tennessee game. You thought
that game.
Really confident about it.
Yeah, that game I thought could get out of hand pretty fast, which it did.
They put up more of a fight than Oregon did.
I mean, honestly. So did Indiana, by the way. Those SEC haters saying, "Oh, you don't deserve it." By the way, the SEC is taking a bath, and we'll get to that here later.
Yeah.
But again, we've covered a lot here over this specific game. I don't know if there's something else you want to bring up, but I will. The last thing I want to say about the Rose Bowl is this team clearly came in with a defined game plan that they knew would work, and they didn't stray from it, and they came out and they dominated that game plan. And if they continue to do that, they will win a national championship because what these last 2 games have shown me and shown everyone else in the country is that they are the most talented team, bar none. We thought that at the beginning of the year, but now
Mhm.
when they've actually been able to put it all together, they are by far the most talented team out there.
Yeah, without a question. And like, you know me, right? I'm always in spaces, and I had Oregon fans telling me that I had Oregon fans saying they had more depth than us. I just you know
Come on.
I
And
had
where
them.
did that depth come up when all of a sudden they started losing guys left and right?
Yeah.
Jordan
Well,
James
and you
out,
know what?
Holden out.
You know what? Well, dude, did you hear on the broadcast why Jordan James went out?
Yeah.
Like that was after the Lathan hit.
Yeah.
But no, I've told them, I said I don't fear their second running back. And I think he averages less than 4 yards a carry this season. I didn't.
Well, and
Their
you
wide,
mentioned before the game how short their corners were, and you knew we were just going to
yes,
carve them up. And it's not like they have taller guys behind them. Like, come
man.
on.
Listen, when you bring out 5'9" guys, I'm 5'9". Like it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
It's not gonna work. The linebackers, uh, they. I'm gonna be honest. I don't remember their linebackers in this game. I don't remember.
It's
I
because they were
just
non-existent.
yeah, they're non-existent. Exactly. Um, Mateo Uyunglele and Jordan Birch.
Mm,
Now,
no show.
they kept telling. Listen, I told them. I said, listen, I'll give you guys your defensive ends are better pass rushers. Ours are better run defenders. I take that back. I take all that shit back.
Yeah.
They're just flat out. I think ours are flat out better. I think ours are better.
The fact that
And
they couldn't do that, they couldn't do anything against a mismatched offensive line, missing 2 All-Americans, that's embarrassing for them, quite frankly.
yep,
They should be embarrassed.
yep. I and you're facing a guy, Luke Montgomery, in his second start. Like
Yeah.
it was just, it was just so impressive, man. The words can't describe how I feel about this win.